Hi everybody, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to discuss an update on the first year law students examination. California bar exam has been the subject of a few lawsuit has been under review for their practices. Some are claiming it's not fair or honest or transparent. Different words are being used. The bottom line is, I believe that the California bar strives to protect the public by making it difficult for people that are unprofessional and unethical and incompetent to get in. That's what I think they're aiming to do. They're trying to protect the public. Now, in their effort to do that, they also want to give people a fair break. And sometimes people can't afford, or for some reason or another, they go to a school that's distance learning. Maybe they have a family or something. Anyway, I want to cut to the chase. What I want to tell you is that I found this fellow Jonathan Corbett's WordPress site, and he basically said he sued the state of California because he took the baby bar, and he's good with statistics and whatnot, and he detrimentally relied on the California bar, their grading, the way they grade, their description on how they advertised that the scaling is. Now, the link is not working anymore because they updated their website, but basically he wanted discovery and all this sort of thing you do, and it was a civil case, and the attorney for the bar disclosed some documents that were formerly considered secret until now, and they were never disclosed to law students to me yesterday, all but flatly admit that not only were sections not weighted equally, but they didn't use the 400-point scale. So basically, this is an admission. If you took evidence, which I took, it's considered an admission. They're admitting they're not doing it the way they advertised. So this is a technical report on how they graded the exam. Well, what is the rationale behind that? It's a psychometric consultant that prepared a technical report on the exam. So they showed the math. Now, many attorneys are not math people. So, that could explain the discrepancy. But also, what they do is they change their website and they have a new grading scale on here. Because he sued them, and now they're explaining what they agreed to do. They changed their website description of how they grade. Wait a minute, where is it? Okay, here's the grading. This is a new description of the grading. They call the process equating. And it's explaining how they do it. So an applicant's total score on the exam is the sum of the applicant's scaled scores on the multiple choice and essay sections. Thus, equivalent weight is given to each of the two sections in arriving at the total score. Applicants need a total scaled score of 560 or higher. Now that is pretty much similar to what they said before, but what they're showing how they adjust it, because there are multiple forms for the examination. The process adjusts for possible differences between forms and administrations of exam in the average difficulty of the particular version of the exam. Now, that's what I'm talking about when I say that they adjust it, because look, they're saying, now I haven't seen it, but they're saying the 2016 exam asked a criminal procedure question in this article, and they're not supposed to ask that because that's not supposed to be covered. I can tell you right now, having looked over a great deal of the exams, that they periodically throw in, questions that really are not supposed to be asked, like on civil procedure, and so they adjust the grades accordingly, and then they supposedly adjust them accordingly. I don't know. So that's what's going on with that. They're handing out questions that are more difficult because they're beyond the scope of what you're supposed to be tested on, and then they'll adjust for that. And the way they discover that they did that is when there's only like 6% of people passing, or there's only 10%. That's the red flag, maybe. I'm just not sure why they even put them out there that way. Now, Ray Hayden took the exam several times. He's got a website describing it with the old way and how he's interpreted it, because he called them up to try to figure it out. And he talks about what you're up against. It's the end result of a 1933 report of the President's Advisory Committee submitted by the Board of Governors of the state of California. So this exam has been around since 1935, and the purpose of the exam was to weed out students who would never really have what it takes to become attorneys. So he calls it the curve and everything, but I'm going to put this below, and just so you know, they recently changed how they describe the grading. They haven't really changed the grading. They've just made it more transparent. And also be aware that if you do come across a question that you think is not fair because you didn't study that, just chill out. They're going to adjust for that. Okay. Well, that's about all for today. I shall put the links in the box below. You can look at these articles if you want. And please like, share, and subscribe. As always, thank you. And namaste.